9 a.m. in Forsyth County, a house full of people pack their bags, saying their goodbyes, and heading home. And Tamla Horsford? She's lying face down in the grass, no shoes, no posts. The official story is that this is a drunken accident and a fall from a balcony. But in a county with a history of secrets as deep as Lake Lanier, the official story rarely holds water. Hi, hello to everybody in the listening world. This is your girl Cass, and as usual, this is your boy Eddie, and this is another episode of True Crime and Other Shit. How y'all doing? Um, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like, me and Eddie are extremely tired. Like, we have just been both running like
Right.
crazy, and we just got a chance to sit down. And we're not gonna lie to you, most of the day we have been asleep. Okay, so we're doing this at like 6 p.m. We both like just woke up and came here to do this for y'all. So we've got coffee, we've got tea. We are just trying to make it through. So please be kind.
Bear with us.
So this week we are looking at the Tamla Horsford case. This is the case that took place in Cumming, Georgia. I think that a lot of people know about this case because, first of all, everybody has this weird obsession with Lake Lanier now. And then also, if you know anything about Forsyth County, where Lake Lanier is located, you know it has a very, very dark history. Yes, I have been to Forsyth County a few times. I actually have a friend who lives there. Her name is Maxie. She's actually Cuban. I'm just glad that I have a friend that like makes sure that when I come to Forsyth County, she don't play about me. Like she makes sure that like she won't let me off the phone until I am across the county line. Like if I'm leaving later than expected, then like her husband will walk me to the car. Like they aren't playing about that. So anyways, if you're gonna go, just be careful. You know, keep your eyes peeled. Always keep looking around. But anyway, this case really just frustrates me, and we're gonna break it down for you guys as best as we can. We're gonna do part one this week. Next week, we are going to take a break in between, and we are going to cover Nature Boy, because that documentary has definitely got us in shambles. So we're going to definitely dissect it for you guys. So let's jump into it. Are you ready, Eddie?
Let's get it. Let's get
All
it.
right. So Tamla Horsford was born on October 10th, 1978 in Kingston, St. Vincent in Grenada. For those who don't know, it's a tiny island. I think it's like right above South America, right below the DR, if I'm like remembering correctly. Again, I just woke up. Tamla Horsford, she was 40 years old at this time. She was like a vivacious woman. Everybody loved her. She had an amazing husband, six beautiful children. They moved to Forsyth County for her husband's career. Leander is his name. And she was a very active and involved mom. Um, she she played like her kids played football, and she was known as the and everybody has one at these games. She's known as like the bullhorn mom. So she has the megaphone. She has the brr, brr,
Yeah.
brr, brr. She's going ape shit for her children, and I know that some people don't love to see it, but me personally, I love to see it, and I will probably be this mom.
She's like your child's number one fan. Can't be mad at it.
Yes, you can't be mad at it. Like those are the kids that end up making it to the league. If you have a mom that supports you, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. But she was making new friends. You know, she's been social with some of the other moms, and they decided that they were going to do a mom break, mom's off duty. And that was supposed to be a birthday party, and it was a sleepover birthday party because they didn't want to get dressed and like worry about drinking and driving and stuff like that. So they were just like, let's just do some drinking, celebrating, and watching some football. Then things turned for the worse later in the evening.
Not to mention too, don't forget she also just found out. I think right before she was, sometime earlier that week or something like that, she had found out that she was gonna be a grandmother.
Yes, her daughter told her earlier that week that she was about to be a grandmother. So she was super excited, beyond pumped. Like, another baby to love on and get a little like overzealous at their football or basketball games or whatever. So super excited. So on November 4th, 2018, Tamla was invited to the home of Jean. Is it Jean Myers? Yeah, Jean Myers. It was the birthday party. Like I said, the LSU game was going on that night, and the girls wanted to watch the game. And most of the moms that were there, their kids all played football together on the same team. So this night, she was turning 45, and her husband, not her husband, sorry, her boyfriend, Jose Barrera, was 27 at this time, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel like I'm not 45, but I would never be interested in like a 27-year-old at my age. I'm just saying. It just feels a little weird. But so Jose was actually supposed to go out with his friends the night of the party, but they all decided to meet at Jean's house. One of the guys said that they weren't feeling well, so they just decided to hang out in the basement and watch the game, which is kind of weird to me. Is that weird to you?
In what ways? Let me deep dive into that. Why you say it's weird?
Like, I don't know. Like, so the guys were all supposed to hang out, and I'm guessing these are younger guys. And
Yeah.
one of the guys said that they weren't feeling well. So instead of going home or just rescheduling, because this is supposed to be Jean's night anyway, like they all just go over to Jean's house and they're watching the game in the basement. Like, if you're not feeling well, wouldn't you want to go home? Wouldn't you just be like, let's just reschedule?
Yeah, but like it sounds to me like it wasn't just like and I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I didn't see this part of the case, but it was just more so. It sounds to me like it was just like, oh, okay, you know what, you girls are gonna watch y'all movies up here. We're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna watch the game. So they just wanted to make sure it was like, oh, okay, cool. Like your wife, you know what I'm saying? If your husband's like, you ain't gotta leave. Like you would tell if you're having girls' night, you wouldn't tell your husband like, oh, you gotta leave the house. Like you'd be like, okay. He's like, you know what? Y'all have your girls' night. I'm going to a separate room, or going to the bonus room, or my man cave. Especially if it was a man cave. Most
It
of
was
the
a
time,
basement.
basement.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Most times, I'm about to say, think about it. Most times, man caves are always in the basement. All right, outside.
no. I don't I don't have a problem with them watching the game down there. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like, if one of them wasn't feeling well, like they were still super pressed to hang out. Am I thinking too much into this?
slightly,
Okay.
slightly.
Anyways, so so they were hanging out in the basement, and they decided to come up. I think that somebody made gumbo, something like that. So they all came up and they decided to get some food, and they just became a part of the party. So most people showed up to the party around 7ish, but Tam didn't get to the party around 8. She's such a devoted mom and wife, and husbands, close your ears because y'all don't need to hear this. But she was home making dinner for her family, and then she made breakfast in the morning since she knew she was going to be there. But her husband, Leander, wasn't the best cook, so he wasn't really happy about the sleepover because he just liked having him with her all the time, which is kind of cute. But he understood that she really needed this escape because with 6 kids,
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. Yeah, where have you girls now?
right. So Bridget Fuller is one of the guests in attendance, and this will be important later. So just remember the name Bridget Fuller, okay? So Tamla wasn't super close to Jean or anybody, but she just needed this girls' night desperately, and so she decided to go. Like I said, she had 6 kids, so she wanted to get away, chill with her friends. Also, it's worth mentioning that Tam was the only black woman at the sleepover, which is in Forsyth County, which is a red flag. I think I
Give a
touched
little
on this in the
history.
beginning.
Yeah. Give a little history because what I found out about Forsyth was also crazy too.
Yeah, so Forsyth County is definitely a sundown town. It is still very much sundown town vibes. Last time I went to Forsyth County, I think I was on my way to Maxie's house, but I picked up like some Dunkin' or something, and Dunkin' will be important later in this case as well. But I picked up some Dunkin' and I was headed over there, and I remember the drive-through was just crazy, so I decided to go in. Child, they saw my black face in there and
Oh,
everybody
mid tracks.
laser focused on me. And I'm like, I mean, I know I'm cute, but girl, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a little weird and a little unsettling. If you want to look up on YouTube or whatever, like Oprah went there back in the day, and the way that they treated Oprah was disgusting, throwing things at her, spitting at her, calling her the N word, stuff like that. Gross.
Well,
So
they're also, I'm about to say, they're also well known for like their Klan rallies, like
yeah,
openly
their
having
Klan rallies are very
rallies, like
prevalent.
parades. Then on top of it, I think they had like a movement where they're trying to get anybody who's not white outside of the actual residency. So you gotta take
They
that into
definitely
consideration.
are. The thing about my friend Maxie is that, and she's probably gonna laugh, even though she's Cuban, she is still white passing. So they don't know. But her last name will give her away every single time. But as long as they don't know that. And Jose is very kind of just unassuming. So they just, her husband is also named Jose, by the way, but not the same Jose. He's much older.
Yeah. They're about to say, might want to put
Sorry,
that in.
Jose. I'm not trying to call you old, bro, but you're not around the age of 27 or anything like that. So we're not spring chickens no more. But yeah, also the Lake Lanier. So Lake Lanier is built on top of what used to be a black mecca called Oscarville. Jim Crow came through and burned it all the way to the ground. I have actually been on Lake Lanier before. I think a lot of people have. And just know that when it gets really hot in Georgia in the summer, you can actually see the tops of the crosses from the churches they just literally they didn't knock anything down. They just filled up the
Yeah,
whole
filled it up with
city.
water.
It's crazy. They flooded the whole town. It's wild, but so a lot of people die in that lake. I want to think that people get caught on things like that. Like it's very easy to get caught on, like one of the crosses or something like that was in the city. But I digress.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Say that again?
I said I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But there's a whole, you could go down the whole, people believe that there's some monster under there taking people. Meh, 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 meh. You
The
know.
story I heard was I'm about to say I just heard about like the souls of the people that like oh yeah they pretty much they tried to drown out. Those are the souls that are pulling them down. Like stories like that, different things like that relate in there. But go ahead.
Yeah, I actually have a friend who's Native American, and she believes that, that if you give the spirits tobacco, if you put tobacco in the water before you get in it, then the spirits will accept that as a peace offering. And I'm not saying that I don't believe in that, but I will be safe. Okay?
You know what I'm saying? Better safe
Um,
than sorry.
right. So Tam shows up in her PJs. She has on this cute little white onesie, and they have like little puppy dogs all over them. And she has like a little hood, and it has little doggy ears on them. So when Tam came back, she showed the ladies how to turn it up a notch. She was like, "Let me show you how to take these shots." So remember, Tam is a Caribbean woman. She knows how to hold her liquor. Okay, you don't have to, babysit her. Like she's good. She pulls out a bottle of tequila that she got from Mexico, and she gave it to Jean for her birthday. And everybody knows like tequila from Mexico, so different. Okay, it does not burn whenever it goes down like the tequila here. It just tastes just like water. There was one that I tasted there that tastes like like a cotton candy. It was so good. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was so good. But everybody is like, you know, ew, tequila. And Jean is like, ugh, I don't like tequila. And then they start smelling it and they're doing the gagging thing and stuff like that. And they're like, I don't like tequila. It's so gross. But Jean is like, if anybody else wants to drink it, that's fine. But like, I'm not drinking that. And I'm like, okay, you guys do not seem like you're fun. Because if you're turning down tequila, like, you're just not fun. I'm so sorry.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. 'Cause me
Look,
personally,
everybody knows you as
yeah.
the Henny guy. All right, we're not. This
Listen,
isn't about you.
I'm against white, like as in the drinks, the white.
I
Yeah,
drink
vodka.
reposado. I don't drink like
Hey, well, I
Blanco.
mean, they could have had Blanco out that joint, and now you would have been the same way, looking at
I
them the
probably still would
same
have drank
way.
it. I wouldn't
I
have been
about to
happy
say,
about it, but I still would have drank it
yeah,
because I like tequila.
yeah.
But
Go ahead.
but Tam is like, whatever. But I don't know who is this snooty that they don't like tequila. But as a Southern woman, where the fuck are your manners, bitch? Like you got like there are certain things like people have given me shit where I'm just like, I don't like that. But I'm always,
You
but
fake that
why
one.
would you
Yeah.
give me this? Like that's so sweet. Like you shouldn't have done that. You know, like definitely like doing it on the sweeter side. I probably wouldn't have drank it. I may have taken a drink, but I'm not gonna
That's
just
it.
be rude like that. Right.
Yeah.
So Tam didn't want the tequila going to waste, so she starts drinking
Killing it.
it, taking it down. Tam was using Mountain Dew as a mixer, which, ew. But I
That's
mean,
not the best
whatever,
choice.
girl.
Okay. I said it's not the best choice, but hey,
That is not the best choice. Did you know it was actually made to be like a whiskey mixer?
I can believe that. As
Yeah,
acidic as it is, you want to take away the whiskey taste. I could believe that.
it's very strong. So yeah, and we weren't actually allowed to drink Mountain Dew as kids either. So
Oh no, we was allowed to drink it. It was just
oh, we weren't
like you were
allowed to.
limited. It was limited. Like
We
especially when they came
were
out with them Bahu blasts and all them different flavors, like the blue, the lime green, the what's it called like a turquoise green, turquoise
whatever
blue.
they got the
Yeah, all the different. Yeah,
yeah. We weren't allowed to drink that, but for some reason we were allowed to drink Sundrop because that's from North Carolina.
is that like the yellow can?
It's green and it has like a lemon on it.
I know which one you're talking about.
Well,
That's
yeah, Sundrop.
okay.
You said it's nasty.
Yeah.
Actually, I always say if the closer you go to the Sundrop plant in Gastonia, it tastes better. I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
the science, but just trust me.
okay.
Like, just like when you go to the Coca-Cola plant near Batesford Road, much better. Anyways, so, but her husband was like, Tam doesn't even like Mountain Dew. I don't even know why she was drinking that because it was found in her system at the time of death. But also throughout the night, she would step out to take a little hit of that devil's lettuce, that sinister spinach, that jazz cabbage. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But she never went alone. She always was with someone.
Uh,
Some of the ladies ended up leaving early due to pet care issue or child care issues, but right after all of that with the whole tequila thing, they sat around the table and they played Cards Against Humanity until about midnight. Which that's when Tam got the FaceTime call from her daughter, and everybody was acting so annoyed, and they were like, "Take your turn, get off the phone." It's like this is her pregnant daughter here. Like, of course she's gonna answer the phone. You all right? You okay? Like, what do you need? What can I do? You know. So after they go out there and they try to get the fire pit lit, they can't do it. So Tam switches the propane tank, and Jean goes, I smelled gas. Wait, hold on. Let me put on my Jean accent. I could smell gas. So I went back inside and I said, nope. So now everybody's getting ready for bed, but I just, I was like, I just can't do it because, the gas smell. When you switch a propane tank, you are going to smell some gas. That's
yeah,
just
we,
kind of how that works.
Yeah.
But Tam was still having an issue getting it lit. I think that both propane tanks were probably dead. I don't know. Like Jean probably didn't do had anything to do with that, so she wouldn't know. But Tam was telling the other girls that she wanted to go home because she was just over it at this point. Jean has a bad attitude. Everybody's acting like they don't really want her around, so she's like, I just don't want to do it. So everybody's getting ready for bed, and Bridget Fuller and her were eating gumbo and in the kitchen talking. And Bridget calls her husband and she wants him to pick her up because she was annoyed with everybody and she was annoyed with this lady named Jen because Jen was crying and talking about how nobody likes her. And oh my God. You know, we all have that one friend. So Tam, it was a very affectionate drunk. So she gave Bridget a hug and kiss before she left. But Bridget's husband said that she was alone at the door, but I digress. So I know I just fast forward through all of that,
You
but
fast forward through a lot. That's I was like, that's a lot of information that we just kind of zoom through. But go ahead. I'm filling in different gaps that I kind of found. Go ahead though.
okay, thank you. So, in the morning, everyone is packing to leave, and no one looks for Tamla or talks to her. They just all leave. But there was one of Jean's Aunt Madeline. She actually was in the basement. She lives in the basement. And Aunt Madeline looks out the window and she noticed that Tam was outside in the grass. And she thought that was strange, so she went upstairs to get Jean and Jose. And Madeline knocks on the door and she says, I need to talk to Jose because he worked at the police station. I can't remember exactly what he did. I'll remember in a minute. But she said, your friend from the islands, she's back in the backyard, like in the grass, like face down, and I'm concerned. So Tam was face down. Her toes were pointed towards the house, and her arms were down by her side, like palms up. This stood out to me because it's human nature that when you fall, you go to protect your face. You protect your face at all costs. I think I've said this a million times on this damn podcast, but
So also, oh, go ahead. But
no, go ahead.
So there was also some other things like when she first went to go knock on the door, she said that she tried to knock on the door, but she heard the water running. So she was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna go ahead and go in there because maybe they're taking a shower at XYZ. And then she pretty much said she came back. And when she came back to tell them about everything, she was like, neither of them said they were in the bathroom they said neither of them were taking a shower. Yeah, there's a whole lot of inconsistencies with this story all throughout. My thing is, first of all, you see somebody laying face down outside.
My first thing is I'm going to go up and make sure.
Or like at least tap them, make sure they're okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was a weird thing about it with like from what I was hearing. But go ahead.
So Jean decides to call the police and ask for assistance.
I remember Jose called and we talked to them too. And then that's where they pretty much got to discussing like, oh, hey, like, so what's the scene look like outside? What was going on? What's crazy about the 911 call was how the operator automatically jumped to.
She seemed like she knew who Jose was. Like she seemed like she knew him as a friend.
That's what I was about to say because it kind of like threw me off about like the whole conversation. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, as a man, you're supposed to be calm, but he was a little too calm. You know what I'm saying? Like
Almost like he called like somebody else before, and they
hey,
called
make
this
sure you
back.
get this call. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's how it kind of threw me off. And then on top of it, when he started saying like, "Oh yeah,
He said,
I don't
"Okay,
really know if
Jose."
she's alive, breathing, X, Y, Z." I don't think she's to call that man by his name. She didn't go that far yet,
So
but
he
it
said
was
it's
just.
Jose, and then she said, "Hey, Jose."
Oh, see, I gotta re-listen to the recording, but
Yeah, I remember that part because I was like,
try to edit that in there if you can. Like, try to edit it into the podcast so that we can hear it and everything. But because I did find the recording with like Jose talking to the operator, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, do you think it's a suicide?" And I was like, "Dang, jumping straight to suicide? Like, what's going on
yeah,
here?"
like you're already trying to paint this narrative.
Yeah, like you already painting narratives before we even like get there. You didn't say, "Oh yeah, is she breathing?" And then after that, she told her like, "Oh, check the pulse. Is she breathing?" XYZ. Like the crazy part is they never even sent the ambulance out there when they first did it. They cops immediately came because it was a homicide. So
Um, I so they also noticed that her body is not how Jose described. He said that he didn't touch her, and then he described that her arms had been like down by her side, but when they got there, one of her arms was kind of up and out to the side a little bit more, like she had been moved. But Jose said he never checked her pulse. He said he lifted her leg and tried to bend it to see if she was still alive,
and
which why
then
would you do that?
that's the only thing that's consistent, like with the stories, like from the witnesses and stuff like that. They all said that like her arms were just going straight out. It was no bend to it, no nothing. They just all said her arms were straight out and like just palms up, straight out by her side. But what kind of threw me off, which you're probably going to talk about this later, was what they found on her wrist, the evidence they found on her wrist. And remind you, the back, to give y'all like the scene for the backyard, it's a two story deck. So you have the lower level where you can walk out. I guess that's through the basement, looks like. You
Yeah.
can kind of, it comes out as a concrete slab, XYZ. And then you look up, and then there's I think it's 20 story. She said, did it say like 20 feet up? I think it was 20 feet is what I read.
Yeah.
So 20
So
feet
it's
higher, you have the balcony
like
outside.
patio on the bottom, but then you can go up to the stairs and then there's like a balcony. And apparently there was a propane tank sitting on the balcony, which they are saying that she climbed up to sit on the railing and feels like she fell. But just the way she landed is just not making sense. You see what I'm saying?
No, there
Like
was a
if she
bunch of
would have fell
inconsistencies.
backwards, she probably would have been on her back. If she twisted in midair,
Do
then
you
she
want to
probably
know?
would have tried to break her fall.
Do you want
Say
to
what?
know the story that they told the husband?
What are
First of
they
all,
saying? Wait, Jose?
no, 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 no. Well, Jose
Oh,
too,
her husband. Her
her
husband.
husband. But it was like when the when the cops first got there, they tried to say that she just kind of fell. Like she was not on the first story and fell off the first story. They tried to say like she was on like the bottom. She was on the first story. Not she was on the top deck. They said like no, she was at the first story, the concrete slab at the bottom basement, and she fell, and that's how she died. Some crazy story like that. I have no clue how that even made sense to them. But that's the story that they had came up with for a
Okay.
very long time. And then what was the next thing? It didn't make sense to a lot of people. Like this, the whole stories were inconsistent. But when they went to go tell the husband, first of all, they were very blunt, very rude. I don't know if you've seen the interview with where he was talking about how they first interacted with him.
I think so.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
go into it.
when they go ahead and tell him pretty much deliver the bad news that his wife had died, they get his name wrong to begin with, and the deputy that comes to the door is like, "Hey, are you Lee?" He's like, "No, I'm not Lee." And then he's like, "No." He kept asking, "Where are you Lee? Are you Lee?" He asked him like 3 times, and it just got more aggressive each time. And then by the third time, he was like, "My name is Lee. What I forgot what his name is.
Leander.
Leander." He was like, "Yeah, well, I just came to let you know, this is about your wife. She's deceased." And that's pretty much
Nice.
blatantly how he just delivered the message. So he's trying to figure out, okay, what the heck is going on here? How the heck, like, and he said initially he thought like, okay, she died in a car accident or something like that. But then he like when he was pretty much told that like, okay, her body is still over there, but like they don't want him to go over there and look at it or do anything. Just kind of sit tight. That's what he was like. What the world, like this is all just crazy. Like, cause first of all, you just told me my wife died. Now you also told me that y'all taking care of it. The family's over there, and that's when he realized, okay, so it's at the scene where she was at. She never left that house. He
Right.
wanted to go over there. They wouldn't let him go over there, of course. It was just craziness from all around.
That is so messed up how like they decided to tell him like this. Like basically like your wife is dead. That's it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they delivered it. Also, what's really stressed me out about their police work is what I'm, and you'll see why I'm using air quotes. They didn't do a full sweep of the house or anything. They took a picture of Tam's overnight bag by the door, and they were like, "All in day's work, boys. I think we got it wrapped up from here. High five." Like it was the worst and shittiest like way I've ever seen a crime scene be treated ever. Almost as if it didn't matter. So
They said that her
wait, can hold on a second. Hold on.
Kanye. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So what were you saying, Eddie?
So just go ahead and pretty much putting it out there. Like when they took pictures of her body and everything, one thing that did kind of pop out to me, which didn't really make sense. I'm still trying to make sense to this case. I got to deep dive a little bit more into the forensic side and look at it. But when they took pictures, the left side on her wrist, it was so badly fractured that the bone actually popped out. And then she also had a cut on her wrist as well that they had shown. Yeah. And then the crazy part about it is, here's the crazy part. So the blood stain on her actual, like, what's name was on the opposite side of her wrist. So, like, let's say this is her left wrist, the blood stain was on the right. So when the medical examiner, you remember which one is it? I can't remember Buddy's name. It just kind of slipped my mind. But he pretty much said the cut was there postmortem, pretty much meaning post death. Yeah. So a lot of this case is just kind of all reary neary. Like, to put things bluntly, the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, they kind of closed shut this case. This is a suicide. You know, she was drunk.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Was she drunk? Blatantly.
Yeah.
She was out of her mind drunk completely.
But she was still in control, is what people were saying. It's not like she was just out of her mind, like blackout drunk. They said like she was still like speaking coherently and stuff like that. Was she drunk? Yes. Was she like blackout drunk? No.
No, so the reason why I say blackout drunk is because she also mixed it with, I forgot what pill it was that she also had.
So this is what about Bridget Fuller. I'm about to come back to that.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is why she was so drunk. But anyways, they did ask Sejan to call everybody who attended the party and have them come back over. She was being extremely discreet as to why the police wanted to talk to her friend. She didn't tell them exactly what was going on. She just said that Tam had been in a bad accident and they need somebody to come back to give statements. So everybody comes back, they give their statements. And police asked Jean if they could get access to her camera footage because she has a security camera. They're like, this will solve it, right? Do you think the camera was working?
No.
It never is it?
Never is.
She didn't have any security footage. She said the camera's it's just not working. I've been trying to get it fixed for a couple months and it's just not working. But she
Now, hear me out. Because me and her got the same camera system. I actually got switched.
No.
I actually got switched. Hear me out. And that's why I hate Arlo. I really hate Arlo. Arlo's a terrible.
I like Arlo.
No.
Well, don't do that.
bro.
Hold on. They might want to sponsor us. Chill out.
I'm just No, bro. I got Arlo.
Simply Safe.
Probably the way to go. But Arlo.
I've had Simply Safe before too. I actually really like it. It's very easy.
The reason why I
They
say
never cut out.
So the reason why I say not Arlo is this right here. Even after you pay for the premium subscription or whatever, it only starts like where you can like save recordings or whatever, right? It only saves those recordings if it picks up motion detection. So
My
let's
motion
say
detection is fantastic though.
and it's
On my
faulty.
camera,
I'm about to say because I had a neighbor who wanted to see my camera because her car got broken into, and when I look back, it didn't show the time frame of when it happened because there was no motion detection. Does that make sense? So like, and they don't have it to where it's like, you know what? I know exactly when this happened. This happened between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and you want to go ahead and look at it yourself. So at least you can look at it and investigate it. You can't do that. it doesn't record unless it detects motion. And that's where the issue is with Arlo. Like, that's what my issue is with Arlo. With hers, she said that the camera had died. And she really, like, the whole reason why she got this security system in the beginning was because of, I think she had an ex, that her ex-husband or somebody like that that just kept trying to come back, so she got that security system. Once he kind of backed off, she really didn't give a fuck about that security system no more. Okay, cool, fair enough, whatever. Like, it served its purpose. You're like, it's there, but it's just decorations. But
Right.
yeah, that's pretty much my stint with the whole security system. I might give her a pass because I got that security system. It's not my favorite. That's cool.
I'm not giving nobody a pass.
I know you're not giving nobody a pass. I don't blame you for not giving her a pass, but I'm just saying. I got
But
my
this
own.
is why she also doesn't give a pass. Is she's like, well, the best I can do is give you the screenshots from the security alerts from the system. So, like it, like this, where it's like door opened at 12:01 a.m., door closed at 12:02 a.m. She
Yeah.
shows a small screenshot. I literally was like trying to zoom in to see it, and it was like a small screenshot from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m., which then she explains that 1 a.m. was probably Tam going out to take a smoke break before bed. And then at 1:57 a.m. is when Bridget was leaving. So, very interesting, that timeline, right? And so the police look at that and they're just like, yeah, this will do. This will be fine. But they start questioning her more and they want to come over there and talk, and they're there like day in and day out at this point trying to get more information about kind of like what's going on. And she's over here like giving them Dunkin' Donuts, giving them Dunkin' Donuts gift cards, and then like the police officer is like, hey, we really can't accept this, because it looks like bribery.
She was even told by, I forgot who told her, like, yeah, this doesn't look good to go over here and say. She said it on camera because I heard the voice recording where she said, yeah, I was actually told probably not to do this because, like, it'll look like bribery while the case is still open in XYZ. But I just want to make sure you guys are taken care of, and I want to thank you for everything. Blase, blase, boo, boo, boo. And I'm just like,
Girl,
so
you
you
know
didn't
what you're
advise
doing.
not to do this. What the
Right,
hell?
and you're
Like,
still doing it. Cool. So, and then also, this has been something that's very controversial. In 2020, she had a Dunkin' Donuts printed mask on, and the caption says, "Best mask ever. If you know, you know." So that's a
and we
little
said that
weird.
was when?
This was taken in 2020. Tam died in 2018.
Yeah, that's all I was about to say. So we can make connections for like people. 2018 is when this murder case started, and then yeah,
She posted that in 2020.
yeah, that's actually tight crazy.
So there is a new sheriff taking over in Forsyth County. All right. And his name was Sheriff Ron. Now, it is worth mentioning that Sheriff Ron was fired from his last position for tampering with evidence because another officer was caught saying some racist shit, and he decided to rearrange his file and hide all the shit that he said. So, of course, he's going to fit right in and down in good old Forsyth County. And also, Mike Christian was on this case as well, and he was sharing photos of Tam's dead body with some girl he was hooking up with on Snapchat and telling her all the information about this case, which is a really great idea. So, way to serve and protect, boys. Y'all are
I'm
doing
not gonna
great.
lie to you. Like small town stuff like that, they are very so much like the most unprofessional and informal,
Chaotic.
chaotic scenes that you'll probably ever deal with. Because like in all honesty, they're not used to big publicities. They're not used to like I'm pretty sure. Don't get me wrong. They probably do this shit all the time. If you want me to be blatantly honest with you, so
Yeah.
they're like but they're not understanding that the scrutiny that they're gonna come under for it. So does this case need to be reopened outside of the fact like on some federal bureau of investigation? Probably so. Will it? No,
Yeah.
sir. They got lucky as hell. COVID came through when it did. I'll put it like that. They got lucky as hell.
Because I think that would have changed the game if that was the case, if like COVID never
Hell
would have
yeah.
happened.
Hell yeah. Like, if COVID never would have happened, because it was just, like, when this case was really picking up the storm and everybody was really trying to get up into it and understand it, COVID came by and kind of knocked everybody off they pivot with it. So I'm sorry, when you like, let's be honest here, when you start dealing with your own personal shit, you're not really too much in the, oh yeah, let me try to figure out and be top investigator about this, or like try to be up on arms about like other social right justices that need to be corrected. So I feel like, yeah, COVID saved they black. I mean, COVID saved they ass.
So another thing that was alarming is that the police never requested any data from any of Jean's friends. Like they didn't look through like pictures, videos across the night. Like they didn't look at anything. Like all the things that you would normally check during an investigation, they kind of just blew it off, and they were only focused on witness testimonies only, which all of them were extremely inconsistent. But you remember our girl Bridget?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about old Bridie here.
Oh, before we talk about override, let me also remind you, when they came back to the house to give their statements, the police put them all in one room.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy part of like
Yeah.
it still being inconsistent, like you guys are sitting in one room trying to get your stories together, and then y'all going in one by one to talk with the police, while you also are sitting in this room having all
Getting
this
your
time
story
together
straight.
to get your story straight. Yeah.
So they called the aunt that lived downstairs, Aunt Madeline, and she gave the statement. And she had some inconsistencies as well in hers. But I remember they said like she was saying when I first woke up, I got up and I got a cup of coffee and I saw that she was laying there and I just dropped to my knees and I just started praying. I was like, this performative shit, like, girl, please get out of here. Like, but back to our girl Bridie. So Jean and some other women were at the party. I think that they kept Bridget around because she had the Zans on deck. Okay, she had a prescription.
That's
For
what she
Xanax.
had. Yeah, go
She
ahead.
had
Go
a
ahead.
prescription for Xanax, and the Xanax flowed like water. And I remember in her interview, she was like, "Oh, I do not give out my Xanax. I need my medication. I would never give it out to anybody else because I need it bad." Girl, everybody in that party has Xanax in their system. Not that they tested them, but it came out later that she definitely was. Like, giving out, like, and the fact that she kept it in a necklace around her neck is also a little weird. Have you ever seen Cruel Intentions?
I'm about to say, I feel like I heard of that before. Like somebody else was like, they did
You
that.
seen
Like,
Cruel
kept them
Intentions?
in. I think so. I don't know. I
So
may
she
have.
had like a rosary that she wore around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And she would unscrew the top of the cross, and it was like a little bump of Coke.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
it's giving.
Yeah.
So then the police found out that Bridie was giving out Xanax the night of the party and the next day. Like, they found text messages saying that you were giving them out. And she said, but not to Tam. I would never do that. And they didn't even ask her if she gave them to Tam. She just volunteered that information. She was like, no, I wouldn't give them out. And so the officers, like, tell me what happened from, the beginning of that night. Like, talked to me from the beginning. Lord, I can't
Yeah.
speak. And she starts telling the officer that everyone loves me because, I work with the kids. Not telling the story at all. I work with kids and I just love babysitting for all the kids and stuff like that. And, I'm more of the mother hen. So that's why everybody just has me around, not talking about this at all,
This at
just
all.
running her mouth. But she also said that she didn't want to be at the party because she was surrounded by strange people. She doesn't like staying at strange people's houses, but these are your besties?
You watched that show that just came out on Netflix, just had it. I think it was like, it was a white girl, she moved down to Texas or something like that. And it was like a bunch of not single mom, it was a bunch of housewives. Damn.
Hunting wives.
Hunting wives. That's
I can't wait till
exactly
that comes
what
back.
the story
I need
reminded
that.
me of.
It's giving that.
Now, on
But
top of it, when they did, oh wait, I don't know, and stop me because I don't know if you talk. Did you find out like when they pretty much found out that yes, she was giving her Xannies because they did like the whole like autopsy and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna get to
Yeah,
that, but
that's why I about to say. Go ahead. I ain't want to interrupt. Go ahead. My bad.
Bridget said that she just says weird things that like very much incriminate her in this. And like, girl, if you have anxiety, you probably shouldn't be committing crimes or lying. As an anxious girly myself, I do not commit crimes nor do I lie because
Yeah, I know how to
I
take a wrong bank
panic.
robbery, cuz.
So, right. So
Yeah, you're
so she
snitching.
was like, Tamla was all over me all night long. She was hugging me and she even grabbed my boobs. And I was just, like taken aback by that. And I just know my DNA is all over them jammies. Why would you say that? You just offered up that information that your DNA would be all over the jammies? Interesting. Anyways, so Bridget goes back to telling her story and she's like, we were eating gumbo in the kitchen and she seemed perfectly fine. She didn't drink. She didn't seem drunk at all. And she was talking to Tam about how sick of Jen she was and, and how she just whines all the time and she can't stand her. And Bridget said while talking to her, Tam is like really talking about going home, but she says that she wants her to stay there and she's convincing her to stay because she's like, you're very drunk and you shouldn't, do that
Yeah.
because anything can happen. And it's probably because you gave her a Xanax, girl.
I was about to say
But
that mix with alcohol would do something to you.
you said what?
I said that mix with Xanax might do something to you.
Exactly. So Bridget says, I can't lie when I'm on Xanax, so I'm not lying. I'm like, girl, Xanax doesn't stop you from lying.
Yeah, just make you
That's
have a
not
good
the
time.
side effect. It's not a truth serum. What in the X-Men is going on here? That's just not, you know what I'm saying? Something that happens. But she said about 1:55 or something, Tam walked out to the back to have a cigarette and the back door opened, but she never shut. And she left a lighter on the back porch and a cigarette that has never been smoked, and that was found in the morning. So, like, what do you mean that she went out there to smoke a cigarette if the cigarette was never smoked? Bridget just be confusing me. Like, I'm looking through my notes right now, and I'm just like, she really was just talking a whole bunch of bullshit. Like, I am utterly, like, confused at all the shit that she was saying. I remember when I was writing these, I was just like, what the fuck? I'm listening to the 911 call, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? She just starts, like, rambling on in one direction, the other direction, and it's like she's almost, like, just trying to deflect as hard as she possibly
As
can.
hard as you can, but then also let's here's another thing too, because Jose is his name Jose? Was it Jose or what was his
The
name?
boyfriend?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jose. Uh, he tampered with so much evidence it was crazy. That lighter
Yeah.
was moved. That
That
lighter
lighter
was
definitely
moved.
was moved. Hmm.
He admits to that. He was like, "Oh, my OCD just made me. I seen it and I didn't really realize, and then I picked it up." However, that's inconsistent because if
Also, don't you work for the police, the sheriff's office? Like you know better. Like I
now
don't
that
care how
part I
bad
didn't
your
know.
OCD is. If you're in an active crime scene, your brain should just switch and just be like, "Let me keep my hands to myself."
Cause about to say before he moved the lighter, he was told about like, oh yeah, she's laying face down in the back. So you pretty much know that she went outside to smoke. Then on top of it, you seen this lighter, you moved it. Something's not adding up. What I just want to know, which I really feel like it was just like I don't know the situation of what happened, but that's kind of low key what I want to know. I want to know like, oh, be bird's eye view to it. What the heck actually caused the actual death? The forensic evidence is not adding up to any of the scenarios that they're putting out. That's what I'm going to go ahead and look forward to in part two, where it's like, all right, how can we actually add these up to make some type of sense?
Yeah. I know that we're like probably close to time, so I'll just go to like where the GBI starts getting involved. All right. So Tam's official autopsy is done. And the GBI had put one out to the public, and they say that there were blunt force trauma to the head and the neck with faint superficial abrasions on the right side of the forehead and abrasion on the upper left side of the bridge of the nose. and near her heart, and there was a cut on her wrist it was a very superficial cut, but it was still there, and it was there post-mortem, like you said. And there was a cut on the tip of her index finger, and a cut on her lower left leg where transparent fluid was coming from her nose and mouth. And she had 300 milliliters of partially digested food, Xanax, and they said that this helped them determine the cause of death, which they said she jumped off the balcony. So you see how like it keeps changing. That first they say that she's up here and she jumps off the balcony. Then they say that it tells her husband that she's down on the concrete slab and she fell and broke her neck and all of that stuff.
Now, here's also why the jumping off the balcony doesn't make sense. Jumping off the balcony doesn't make sense because,
That's a lot of work.
well, but then also they said that there was no fractures, there was no anything to her skull. Like, her face was fine. Pretty much her face was fine. Jumping 20, I'm not gonna lie to you, 20 feet high as a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some type of messed up. You might be missing a tooth, something. No type of damages. There was no type of fractures, like multiple fractures to like the wrist and different things like that. But that was also the crazy part, because if you ask all the witnesses, they said that her arms were laying straight down. But then the pictures, when the cops get there, it's talking about her arm is like
It's
somebody
like
lying. Exactly.
There's like
Out
so
to the
many
side to
inconsistencies.
brace herself. Yeah,
I just
like,
hope that we were able to convey like how crazy this was, because we had to jump around so much because everything is just so inconsistent and everything is just so up in the air that
yeah,
like it doesn't make any sense.
you're not gonna
But
find
this
no
is all
consistency.
important information, and like part two is definitely going to hit you hard whenever you start realizing, oh shit, that's why they said that. Oh shit, that's why they said that. Honestly, at this point, I know I always say two comes before one. I mean, one and comes and then two, but you might want to listen to part two before. Child, I don't even know. Everybody didn't lie so
Yeah,
much.
we all confused now. We all jumbled up, man. It's a jigsaw
Everybody didn't
puzzle.
lie so
And
much. I'm lying. I don't know my numbers. I don't know what the hell is going on anymore.
it's a jigsaw puzzle of madness. And God dang it, we gonna figure it
It
out. That's
is.
how I feel in this episode right here. Because when part two come out, we gonna have all this shit together. And I might have to just reopen the case after this shit. I don't know, because it just doesn't make sense. But we gonna make some sense out of this. That's how I look at it.
That, and also, y'all, I'm super excited to cover this Nature Boy case for y'all next week. I think it's going to be really interesting to talk about the ins and outs of it. There's also a 40-part YouTube documentary on this if you want to go look at that. I'm not going to be watching it because that's just far too much for me. I'm going to do my research based off the Hulu documentary. So we're gonna do that. The Hood Horrors is the one that's on YouTube, so look that up. But we're just gonna call it a night tonight, y'all. Shit, my brain is like fried from this. Ugh, Lord Georgia, please get it together, Lord. Y'all
Catch
making
y'all
everybody look bad. Well, we thank you for tuning in to another episode of True Crime and Other Shit. And next week is going to be interesting, to say the least. We will see you
Most
next week.
definitely.
Bye.